Hello everyone. Today we will see characteristic curves of turbine. Okay. Now these are the curves which are characteristic of the particular turbine, which helps in studying the performance of the turbine under varying conditions. Okay. So see here, when we are going to conduct different experimentation. Okay. On any of the turbine, any of the hydraulic turbine. Okay. So what will happen? We are going to test by varying different parameters. Okay. And based on those parameters, we will check the performance or check what is going to happen with the other parameters. And using those changes, okay, what we are going to do, we are going to plot the graphs, and those graphs are known as the characteristic curves of the turbine. These curves actually, what we can say, it will help to judge your turbine, or we can say predict the performance of the turbine. The turbines are generally designed at by using the different values. Okay. Like H, that means head, then Q, discharge, RPM, gate opening. Okay. Actually, gate opening is quite what you can say working parameter. When we are going to work on the turbine, at that time you can vary that. Okay. But when we are going to design the turbine, at that time we must consider the head, what is head available. Okay. Then what should be the discharge to get good efficiency or good power? What should be the speed for that power or that efficiency? Okay. So these are the parameters which help us to design the turbine. Okay. And after designing, what we are going to do, we are going to check its performance by checking the power and its efficiency, overall efficiency, right? So these are the basically parameters or particulars based on which we can draw the curve, or we can plot the graph. From these parameters, you can see here H, Q, and N. These are the independent parameters. Okay. These are independent parameters. Okay. Now, what is meant by independent parameter? That means head or discharge or your speed. Okay. These are not depending on any other things. Like you can independently vary them. Okay. Based on the different arrangements. Right. So these are the independent parameters, and these are the dependent parameters. That means if you are going to change any of these three parameters, these are going to be changed. Even if you change the gate opening, this will going to be changed. Okay. Now, based on this parameter, by varying one of the parameter, what we can do, we can plot the graph for with respect to one of the independent. Okay. For this power or efficiency, that these graphs are known as a characteristic. For example, let's say if we are keeping the head constant. Okay. If we are keeping the head constant, and if we plot the graph with respect to one of the independent parameter, that means Q or N. Okay. For power and efficiency, then those graphs are known as a characteristic curve. Characteristic curves are um, made of three types. Okay. It is kept of three types. First one is main characteristic curve. Main characteristic curve. Okay. This is also known as constant head characteristic curve. Okay. Constant head characteristic curve. Second one is operating characteristic curve. This is also known as constant speed characteristic. Okay. Third one, Mutual curve or it is also known as a isoefficiency curve. Or it is, we can also say it as a constant efficiency curve. So these are the three types of curves, characteristic curves, which helps to, what you can say, to judge the performance of the hydraulic turbine. Okay. Now let's start with the first one, that is main characteristic curve. From this name, you can simply say that it is, the performance is taken at a constant head characteristic curve. Okay. So what is done in this, basically, to get the main characteristic curve, what is done, we are going to keep the head constant. Okay. And when we are going to keep the head constant, um, we are also keeping the, one of the position for the gate opening. Okay. Gate opening means what, we are going to, if we are talking about the Pelton turbine, then we are going to maintain the position of the spear. Okay. And if we are talking about the reaction turbine, we are going to maintain the particular angle of the guide vanes. Okay. When we are going to keep the head constant, at that time, what will be the effect on the discharge, power, or the efficiency, that we are going to check in this experimentation basically, and based on it we are going to plot the curve. Okay. Now when we are going to plot the curve, instead of plotting with the speed, head, or discharge, or the power, what we are going to do, we are going to plot with respect to unit speed, unit discharge, and unit power. Okay. We are reducing down to the one head, uh, 1 meter of head, so that what will happen, we can easily compare it for the different working conditions. Okay. Now let's see for first characteristic curve, that is when we are keeping the head constant, and if we are plotting the graph of QU versus unit speed. Okay, unit discharge versus unit speed. Now, when we plot a graph of unit discharge versus the unit speed for Pelton turbine, it is observed that your graph will be something like this. Okay, let me show you. So here is your unit speed, and on y-axis will be your unit discharge. Okay, so it is observed for the Pelton turbine, your graph is something like this. For, let's say, 1/4 opening, it is constant. Okay, discharge is remaining constant. Then again, for half opening also, it is going to remain constant. Third opening, 1/3, oh, sorry, 3/4 opening also constant. And this is for the full opening. Okay. Now here you can see that when we are plotting QU versus NU, you will see here a simple horizontal lines. Okay. Now why this is happening over here is because in a Pelton turbine, if we see the construction, here is your simple nozzle is there. Okay. And then is your Pelton wheel. Right. Even if your speed is going to change over here, okay, you are not going to change the position of the your spear. Okay. Let's say for half opening, once you have set for 1/4 opening. Okay. So what will happen, whatever the discharge coming from this nozzle, it is going to be constant. Even if you are changing the load on this turbine, you are changing the load, that means you are changing the speed, right? So even if you are changing the load on this turbine or changing the speed of this turbine, okay, there will be no effect on the discharge at all. Okay. So that's why you, it is observed that for Pelton turbine, you will get a simple horizontal lines for QU versus NU. Okay. Similarly, if we talk about the Francis turbine, Francis turbine, and again let's say we plot the graph of NU versus QU. Okay, now here what will happen about the in a Francis turbine? Let's say this is your penstock, and it is directly connected to your uh, casing, and here is your wheel inside it. Okay. Now, when the speed is going to increase over here, even if you keep the keep your constant discharge, okay, if you if you keep the gate opening constant, okay, let's say 1/4 opening apne rakh diya, okay. Now, what will happen if you are changing the speed over here? What will happen? A centrifugal head will be developed over here, okay. It will be developed over here. Let's say if you are increasing the speed, okay, if you are increasing the speed, what will happen? With the increase in the speed, the centrifugal force, okay, the centrifugal force will be developed, okay, and it will throw the water on the outside, okay, or you can say it will throw the water in the opposing direction. Water आपका यहाँ से अंदर जा रहा है, okay, from here it is going inside like this, okay, and with the increase in the speed, what is going to happen? That blades are actually throwing the water outside, so opposing direction mein aa raha hai. So due to that, what will happen? The discharge will start reducing down, okay. So centrifugal head is going to act over here, okay. So let's say if you are keeping the head 1/4, you will see that it is going to drop down. Similarly for 1/2, okay, similarly for 3/4, and for the full opening also, you will see that it is reducing down, okay. Why? Because of the centrifugal force acting over here. With the increase in the speed, what will happen? The discharge will start reducing down. Why? Because the opposing force will be developed due to increase in the speed, okay. The water inside the turbine will throw the water outside. Definitely what will happen? The discharge will start dropping down, okay. So this is what happened in a Francis turbine. Instead of remaining this discharge constant, here it will start dropping down, okay, for all the openings. Now let's see for the Francis turbine, sorry, for Kaplan turbine, what happens in a Kaplan turbine now, okay. So this is the again discharge, unit discharge versus the unit speed for sorry, Kaplan turbine. Now in Kaplan turbine, what is going to happen? Basically the flow of the turbine, flow of the water is axial turbine, okay, axial flow. So here it is a axial flow. Due to axial flow, what will happen? Let's say this is your turbine shaft, okay, like this, and here is your blades, and your water is coming from top side and leaving it at the bottom side like this, okay. So when the speed will increase here, when the speed will increase, what will happen? The water will be thrown outside, and it will create more space for more amount of the discharge, okay. That means the water will easily come inside the turbine and easily fall down below it, okay. So due to that, what will happen? The discharge will actually increase over here, okay. See here, again centrifugal force is going to act over here, but it is not in the opposing direction, it will be in this direction. So what will happen? If it is going on outward direction, what will happen? The space over here will be vacant, and definitely what will happen? It will call for the more amount of the discharge, more amount of the water inside, okay. So due to that, what will happen? The discharge will actually increases with the increase in the speed, right? So here the graph will be something like this, increasing. Same for 1/4 opening, half opening, 3/4 opening, and full opening, okay. So if we are keeping the gate opening, okay, constant, let's say 1/4 opening, you will get the discharge will be increased in a Kaplan turbine. decreased in a Francis turbine and constant in a Pelton turbine. We have seen the parameters, right? That is head, okay, discharge, units, sorry, speed, okay, then power and efficiency, overall efficiency, right? So here we are keeping the head constant, right? And plotting for discharge, power, efficiency versus the speed. Okay, so this one we have already plotted now. Let's move to the second one, that is power versus the um, unit speed. Okay, so unit speed versus unit power versus unit speed. Now for the Pelton turbine, it is seen that let me draw it for all the three so you will understand the comparison. Pelton or impulse. Here in Francis and the reaction, basically you will observe the same Francis and Kaplan. You will observe the same curve. Okay. So I'll write it over here as a reaction turbine. So when we plot the graph of unit power versus unit discharge for Pelton turbine, it is seen that for 1/4 opening, the graph is like this. Okay. When this is for 1/4 opening. Okay. When we increase the opening to 1/2, you will see that it is something like this. Okay. 1/3 is like this. Sorry, 3/4, not 1/3. I'm saying. Okay. And this is for the full opening. Okay. So now it is seen that when the Pelton turbine is there, at that time the maximum power obtained is almost at the same level. It is almost at the same level. Okay. While if we draw it for the reaction turbine, it is seen that the peak is going to shift. Okay. Like this. So let me draw it for all the four. So this is for 1/4, 1/4. This is for 1/2. This is for 3/4, and this one is for full opening. Okay. So when we draw it for the Pelton turbine, it is seen that the peak power, that means maximum power, is almost obtained at the same unit speed. While in a reaction turbine, it is seen that the maximum power obtained is little bit elevated towards your left side. Okay, so this is what the difference between the Pelton turbine and the reaction turbine. And let's move to the next one, that is efficiency versus the unit discharge. Okay. Again, for Pelton turbine, okay, and for the reaction turbine. Now for Pelton turbine, the graph is graph for 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4. It is almost same. Same means I'm not saying overlapped. The shape of the graph is almost same. Okay. So it is something like this for first three. That is, this one is your 1/4. This is for 1/2. This is for 3/4. But it is seen that for Pelton turbine, when you are keeping the full opening, at that time, it is not actually going from here. It will intersect these two curves and its peak will be elevated towards the left side. So here you can see these are the maximum efficiencies, but the for full opening, it is elevated, it is a little bit shifted towards the left side. Okay, so this is for the Pelton turbine. While in a reaction turbine, it is seen that this is for 1/4 opening, this is for 1/2 opening, but from the 3/4 opening, it is going to start shifting towards the left side. Okay, so it is kind of like this. This is for 1/4. This is for 1/2. 3/4. This is for full opening. Okay, so these are the basically experimentally observed things. Next one is a operating characteristic curve, or it is also known as a constant speed characteristic curve. Okay, now here again, let's see, these are the parameters which we are going to consider, right? Now, as we are keeping the speed constant, okay, we have to plot the graph of this discharge versus power and discharge versus efficiency. Now, in this type of condition, head may or may not remain constant. That's why we are not going to consider that head here. Now, in operating characteristic curve, let's plot the common graph for power versus discharge and efficiency versus discharge. Okay. Now, see here, any turbine, if you you are taking any turbine, okay, initially to overcome the friction, you will need a more amount of you need the particular amount of the discharge. Okay, will this happen that you have just started the water flow and your turbine will start rotating? No. So when your discharge is 0, okay, definitely no power will be generated or no efficiency will be there. Okay, even if you increase the discharge, still after still for a certain limit, okay, you will observe no rise in a power, or you will observe there will be no zero efficiency. Okay, so your graph will start somewhere from here. So this is the actually what you can say, it is a discharge to overcome friction. Okay, now from here your graph will start. If we are talking about the power, it is observed that for Pelton turbine it is almost linear like this. Okay, it is linear, and efficiency will be like this, something like this. Okay, so from here you will find that when you are increasing the discharge, with the increase in a discharge, not always your efficiency will increase. Okay, so this is for efficiency and this one is for power. So not compulsory, with the increase in a discharge, your efficiency will increase. So similar to your speed, as we have seen in the main characteristic curve, that your curve is something like this. Okay, dome shape. That means when you are increasing the speed, not compulsory, the efficiency will be always high. Okay, after a certain limit, it will start decreasing. The same condition is going to happen with the discharge also. Okay, initially you will see here there is a rise in a discharge. It will reach to the maximum efficiency, and after that it will start falling down. Okay, so this is what about the operating curve. Now, if we the graph is almost same for your Pelton turbine and both the reaction turbine. Only slight difference is there. If we are talking about the Francis turbine, okay, let's say if we talk about the power versus discharge, okay, it is observed that instead of linear, it is slightly like this. Okay, not linear, but slightly like bent one. Okay, now the reason behind this is what is going to happen over here when the discharge is actually increasing. Okay, when the discharge will increase, your power will increase, but not with the linear condition. Okay, that's why this Francis for the Francis turbine, for Francis turbine, it is for it is suitable for the medium head. Okay, Francis turbine. Okay, now if we talk about the your Kaplan turbine, it is observed that your power versus the discharge. Okay, it is something like this. So this is for the Kaplan. Okay, so here it is from this graph we can say that, or it is seen that Kaplan turbine works well for the lower discharge also. ISO efficiency. Curve. Okay. Now, ISO efficiency curve, it is also known as a Mutual curve. Now, for ISO efficiency curve, there is no separate experimentation or testing is done, but it is actually plotted from your main characteristic itself. Okay. Now, how it is actually plotted? Let's see first. Okay. I'm actually plotting two graphs over here. Unit discharge versus the unit speed. Okay. So here is your efficiency and here is your discharge. Right. Now, if we recall the graph for discharge versus unit speed, okay, or efficiency versus the unit discharge. Okay, so discharge versus unit speed. Okay, so you can see here how your graphs are changing for the different turbines, and for efficiency versus the speed, you can see here these are the graphs. Okay, basically obtained for the Pelton turbine and the reaction turbine. Okay, now we are going to draw it combinedly so that we will get the ISO efficiency. Okay, so let me draw it first one. Okay, now once we have plotted this graph, let's say if we take the efficiency of 0.2. Okay, so somewhere here will be your efficiency of 0.2. Okay, now if we extend it to this graph, okay, to the particular opening. So let's say this is for full opening. Okay, you can see here this is for full opening. Okay, so from here I'll extend it on the upper side till it cuts the full opening. Okay, now here you can see 0.2 efficiency is actually obtained at the two different unit speeds. Okay, here as well as over here also. Okay, right. So these are the points which you have obtained for full opening. Okay. Now, similarly, you can draw it for 3/4 opening. Okay. So for 3/4, this is what the curve is. So you can see here for 3/4 opening, it is cutting somewhere here, right? So this is what your point is. Second point is. So here is for 3/4. Okay. 3/4 opening. Next one is for your 1/2 opening, right? So 1/2 is again here. Both it actually is very close. So somewhere here, and on other side is here, right? And for the 1/4, it is again somewhere like here. This is okay. Now what we are going to do? We are going to plot this freehand. Okay, when we draw it, join this free-handed. Okay, this is what the efficiency. Okay, for, or you can say this is the curve for 0.2 efficiency. Okay, everywhere on this curve is a efficiency 0.2. Okay, that means same efficiency. That's why it is known as a iso efficiency curve. Okay, as this is for 0.2, similarly, if we draw it, let's say for 0.8, let's say this is for 0.8, this is 0.2, this is 0.8. Okay, and again, if we draw it over here, okay, you can see here, let's say if we draw it for full opening, so these are the 2 points. For 3/4 opening, these are the points. Okay, and here you will see that this may happen. Okay, that it is not cutting the half opening or 1/4 opening. So you can see here there is no intersection for 0.8 opening. So the curve is something like this, simply like this. Okay, so this is for 0.8. Similarly, in between, if you draw different curves, they will be for 0.7, 0.6, likewise. And all these lines are actually for same efficiency. That's why it is known as a iso efficiency. Okay, so this is the third characteristic curve, that is iso efficiency or Michel curve.
Thank you.